terrible. This is rotten.
Nick, get those kids out of here. What did I tell you about bringing your friends in here this early in the morning?
It's not my friend. The TV.
Get those kids out of here, Nick. Go to your friends outside. Good. Good. And none of you kids come back till this afternoon.
It wasn't my friend. It was Chuckles the Chipmunk.
Yeah, that's very comforting, Nick.
Boy, it's a terrible program now. It was a much better show when you were writing it.
Yeah, well, when Faulkner quit and Sandberg quit, I quit. What kind of day is it outside?
It's a Monday.
No. I mean, is it warm or cold or sunny? That's what I mean.
I don't know. I haven't been outside yet.
Crap. Can't see a goddamn thing. You know, no matter what time of day or season it is, we got a permanent fixture out there, twilight in February.
You better call the weather record like always.
Someday that damn building's gonna fall down to 7th Avenue so I can see the weather. Using a machine to call up another machine. I do not enjoy the company of ghosts. Hello, weather lady? Well, I'm fine this morning, and how is your nasal little self? What is the weather? Oh, no kidding, that high. And the wind, which way does the wind blow? All the way to East Point and Block Island, no kidding. And the sun? Oh, there you go again, repeating yourself. I tell you every morning that once is enough. You'll never learn. Women seldom sense when they have become boring. Neighbors! Neighbors, I have an announcement to make. I have never seen such a collection of dirty windows. Now I want you all out there on the fire escape with your Mr. Clean bottles and let's snap it up.
Gee, Murray, you gotta shout like that every morning.
Yep, there's my head. What time is it?
8:40.
8:40. What the hell are you still doing here? Why aren't you in school?
It's a holiday. It's Irving R. Feldman's birthday, just like you said.
Irving R. Feldman's birthday is my own personal national holiday. I did not open it up to the general public. He just happens to be proprietor of one of the most distinguished kosher delicatessens in this neighborhood. And as such, I hold his day of birth in reverence.
You said you weren't going to look for work today because it was Irving R. Feldman's birthday, so I figured I would celebrate too, a little.
Don't kid me, Nick. You know you're supposed to be in school. Hey, I thought you liked that damn genius school.
Well, I figured I'd better stay home till you got up. There's something I gotta discuss with you. See, since it's this special school for big brains, they watch you and take notes and make reports and smile at you a lot. There's this psychologist up there and he sees you every week, each kid separately. He's the biggest smiler they've got.
Because you got brains, Nick, they figure you're nuts.
Well, anyway, we had show and tell time in Mrs. Zimmerman's class on Monday. Each kid was supposed to tell about a trip he took and show pictures. Well, you remember when I made you take me down to the El Bambino Club on 52nd Street? You know that?
Nick, you showed and you told?
Well, I didn't know there were such square people up there at your school, Murray. And then there was the composition. I wrote creative writing class about the advantages of having unemployment, sure.
Why'd you write about that?
Just on my mind. Then once I got my record out, I started to notice what they call significant data. Now it turns out they've been keeping this file on me for a long time. And checking with that child welfare place. Same place you got those letters from.
I never answer letters from large organizations.
So Murray, when they come over here...
Whoa, what do you mean when they come over here?
Yeah, this child welfare class. They want to take a look at our environment.
Well, that's just charming, Nick. Why the hell didn't you tell me about this before?
Well, you know, the last couple of nights we couldn't get together.
That was unavoidable. You know when I have a lot of work, you stay up at Mrs. Myers.
Murray!
What?
Your work forgot your gloves last night.
Oh, that's very bright.
So, Murray, when they come over here, I figure we better...
Hey, you make it sound like a vice raid.
I mean, for one thing, Murray, you don't even have a job right now.
Look, you want me to put up some kind of front when they get here? Fine, don't worry, I'll snow them good.
I thought maybe you could at least look in the papers for a job this morning before they get here. We could tell them all about your possibilities.
I look every day.
Couldn't I get featured from the Times again like last week? Why don't you get dressed?
All right. Read me from the paper.
And then maybe you'll take a shave.
All right.
This paper's 3 days old.
So what? What do you want me to do? Bury it? What, is it starting to rot or something? Come on, read me from the paper.
Most of these jobs, somebody must have taken them already. Look, I'll go down and get need a newer paper.
We do not need a newer paper. All the really important jobs stay forever. Now, come on. Start on page 1 of Help Wanted Mail and read me from the paper.
Adminis ex opportunity, $90. What's that?
Administrative assistant, excellent opportunity, $90, nothing. Read further.
But $90 would be $90 more than nothing. Nothing for you being now.
Have you ever considered being the first 12-year-old boy in space?
But $90!
Look, you go be an adminis ex opportunity. They need men like you. Come on, read from the paper.
Versatile junior, traffic manager, industrial representative organization. $100 to $125. Call Mr. Schiffman.
Oh, Mr. Schiffman? I read your name in the New York Times, so I know you must be real. My name is Mandrake the Magician, and I'm a versatile junior, and I want to manage your traffic for you. You see, sir, it's always been my ambition to work in a pointless job with no future, and a cretin like you as my boss.
But Murray, it's $125. That's a lot of money.
Look, no editorial comments or personal recommendations. When I need your advice, I'll ask for it. Out of the mouth of babes comes drool.
Murray, you said that last week. You don't want a job is the whole thing.
Look, will you just concentrate on being a child? Because I find your imitation of an adult hopelessly inadequate.
You want to be your own boss. The trouble with that is you don't pay yourself anything. Hey, you don't pay yourself anything. That's a good line. I've got to remember that.
That's what you said last week.
Look, Murray, can I speak to you man to man?
That line was cute about a year ago, buddy, but now it's got to go.
Murray, I am upset. For me, as an actual child. The way you live in this house and we live is a dangerous thing for my later life when I become an actual person. An unemployed person like you are for so many months is as bad for you as the person involved, and it's definitely bad for me, who he lives with in the same house, with the rent isn't paid for months sometimes, and I wish you were getting a job, Murray, please.
All right, kid, you're right. This is terrible.
You're not kidding.
Amen.
Yeah.
Remember last week when I said I was going to go look for work? Well, I went to the movies every day in the afternoon.
Murray, you mean you really
Now, don't give me any of that indignant crap. I happen to be admitting something to you. You know, it's bad enough I should have to discuss my adult problems with a grotesque cherub without you giving me dirty looks on top of it. Swell crowd in the movies on a weekday afternoon. Nobody sits next to anybody. Everybody there thinks everybody else is a creep, and all of them are right. Have you ever been to the top of the Empire State Building?
Yes, 6 times. With you in November.
Oh, really? Have you ever been to the Statue of Liberty?
No.
Well, good. Today is Irving R. Feldman's birthday. We shall go to the top of the Statue of Liberty and watch the Queen Elizabeth come in.
Murray, why did you go to the movies in the middle of the afternoon when you said you were looking for work?
There's a window right in the middle of her navel, and we'll look out and we'll see.
What is it? Were you very tired or what?
Oh. I was on the subway, and I was on my way to check with Uncle Arnie and some of the other agents about writing for some of the new TV shows. And I was on the subway, and I was on my way there, and I got off at 42nd Street, and I went to the movies. There are 11 movie houses on that street, Nick. It's movie land. It breathes that seductive, carpety, minty air of the inside of movie houses. Almost as irresistible to me as pastrami. Now the big question is, as you approach the box office, with the sun shining right down in the middle of a working day, as to whether everyone going in is as embarrassed as you are. But once you get past that awkward stage, once you have your ticket torn by that old man inside, once that happens, then all doubts just go away, Nick, because inside it is dark, and inside is such a scene as to fracture the imagination of a nut like yourself, Nick, because inside it's dark and it's lovely and a little damp, and no one can see you. And the dialogue is falling like rain on a roof, and you are sitting deep in front of a roaring, color, cinemascope, stereophonic, nerve-cooling, heartwarming, spine-softening, perfect, happy ending picture show, and it is Peacefulville, USA. And there are men there with neat little mustaches who have shined their shoes and put on a tie even to come and sit alone in the movies. And there are nearsighted, cute little pink ladies who sit and eat secret caramels and old men who sleep. And the ushers, buddy, you're not kidding those boys. They know you're not there because you're waiting for a train or you're on vacation or you work a night job. They know you are there to see the movie. It is the business and the purpose of your day, and they give you their sneaky little smile to show you that they know. Now, the moral question for me here is this. When one is faced with life in the bare-assed, job-hunting raw on the one hand, and 11 50-cent double features on the other, what is the mature, sensible, and mentally healthy step to take?
What's wrong, Murray?
I don't know, kid. I'm not sure.
Hey, Murray, are you all right? Murray, let's go to the Statue of Liberty. Come on.
Oh, hello, young man. I am Albert Arlinson, and with me is Miss Markowitz. We would like to speak to your...
Well, I don't know if he's like...
Isn't he in?
Hello?
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Burns? We, Miss Markowitz and I, are a social service unit assigned to the New York Bureau of Child Welfare. We have been asked by the Bureau to... May we come in?
Sir.
We, Miss Markowitz and I, have been asked by the DCW to investigate and examine several pupils of the Revere School. There is certain information which the city and school would like to have regarding young Nicholas.
Well, please, Miss Markowitz, please sit down. Mr. Amundsen, I'll take your coats if you'd like.
Perhaps I should explain just why we are here, Mr. Burns.
Anyone like some coffee?
Thank you, Nicholas. Miss Markowitz?
Yes, thank you.
Watch it.
Mr. Burns, Mr. Burns, it might be best if you sent the child downstairs to play or something while we have our little discussion, your case.
Our case? Well, I had no idea we were a case.
Well, we do have a file on certain students at Revere.
So we had a great big fat file or a little teeny weeny file?
Due to the fact that you've chosen not to answer our letters and several phone calls, there's many areas in which the file is, here we are, incomplete. Several questions, Mr. Burns. It might be best if you sent the child downstairs to play.
You're going to talk dirty?
It might be more advisable for the child not to be present, since Miss Markowitz will be discussing the psychological area. That is, we will be discussing certain
Cream and sugar for everybody?
Yes, Nicholas. Mr. Burns, it's going to be awkward with the child present too.
Miss Markowitz, may I know your first name, please?
Sandra.
Sandra, and you are the psychologist part of this team, Sandy?
That's right, Mr. Burns.
And you, I take it, are the brawn of the outfit?
Perhaps I should explain, Mr. Burns, that the social service units assigned to Revere are a carefully planned balance of social caseworkers such as myself and psychological social workers such as Miss Markowitz, or actually Dr. Markowitz. Mr. Burns, it's not easy to define those elements, those influences and problems which go into the makeup of the young boy.
Well, I thought it was just frogs and snails and puppy dogs' tails.
Mr. Burns, I do appreciate the informality with which you approach this meeting, but on the more serious side, if I may...
Hey, is the coffee any good?
Oh, yes. Very good. Thank you, Nicholas.
Very nice, Nicholas. Nicholas, are you drinking coffee? Don't you think it might be better?
No, it's actually milk. I drink it from a cup.
Now, aren't you ashamed of yourself?
Now, to plunge in right here...
Sometimes I give him his milk in a shot glass. It seems better to get him to drink it than have chocolate syrup.
Mr. Burns, Mr. Amundsen and I have several cases to examine today, and we would appreciate a certain amount of cooperation.
Mashulu Parkway, East Bronx.
With a couple of years in maybe Massachusetts.
No Massachusetts at all. Complete
Well,
Texas.
I don't understand.
Well, it's simple. You see, what we're doing is we're simply testing our sense of voice and accent. You see, Nick insists that he's better at it than I am.
Well, as a matter of fact, the Bronx is right, but it's grand concourse.
And that Massachusetts thing, that's way off,
Well,
right?
actually, I took my graduate work with a professor, a man with a very strong New England accent who could very well have influenced my speech. Nick is quite right.
Thank you, lady.
Now, you certainly have a fine ear for sound, Nick. Do you and your uncle play many of these sorts of games together?
Yeah. We play many wholesome and constructive type games together.
You're a big phony, Nick. Miss Markowitz has big, beautiful hazel eyes that are ever watchful. And even clever little boys aren't going to snow her. You see, she's here for the facts.
Quite so, Mr. Burns. But facts alone cannot complete our examination. You see, we wish to
Jersey
understand...
City, maybe Newark, and a couple of years in Chicago.
Yep, I think you've hit it, Nick.
That's really quite remarkable. Albert, Mr. Amundsen, is from New Jersey, and he went to Chicago University for several
That's quite
years.
beside the point, Sandra.
I just thought it was quite remarkable, Albert, the boy's ability to
Suppose I just plunge in right here before Dr. Mark...
The honeydew melon's in season again, but it's really not quite ripe. So I thought probably I'd... Oh, sorry. Didn't know you had company. See you, Nick.
See you, Uncle Arnie.
Is there someone else living here with you?
No, that's my brother Arnold. He brings fruit on his way to the office every morning. He's a fruit nut.
Yes, I see here in our file that our research team spoke to your brother, your agent, I believe. We also called the people at your last business address, NBC.
You really do that sort of thing? Calling people, going into my personal background, that kind of thing?
Well, you have refused for quite some time, Mr. Burns, to answer any of our regular inquiries. Now, we understand you've been unemployed at this point for nearly 5 months.
Well, he does have an excellent opportunity to become an administrative assistant.
Other than your activities as a freelance scriptwriter, I understand you wrote regularly for an NBC program for several years.
I was chief writer for Leo Herman, better known as Chuckles the Chipmunk. Friend of the youngins and seller of Chuckles chips, the potato chip that your friend Chuckles the Chipmunk eats and chuckles over.
And the circumstances under which you left the employ of. You felt this was not the work for you.
Well, I felt that I wasn't reaching all the boys and girls out there in television land. Actually, it wasn't so much that I wasn't reaching all the boys and girls. You see, it's all the boys and girls were starting to reach me. 6 months ago, a perfectly adult bartender asked me if I wanted an onion in my martini, and I said, "Gosh and gollies, you betcha!" I knew it was time to quit.
May I ask if this is a pattern? That is, in the past, has there been much shifting of positions?
No. I always ask for an onion in my martini. That is a constant and
Mr.
unswerving
Burns,
requirement.
perhaps you are not aware of the seriousness of your situation. See, this entire matter is the subject of intense interest to the BCW. The circumstances of this child's environment.
What the Bureau considers
The danger
to be
that-
almost an
He just likes to
emergency
get around, lady,
situation.
but see, we really got a great environment here.
Look, please, sit down. People, I'm sorry. Let's get back to the question.
Fine. Now, Nick, suppose you and I have a little chat right here.
Fine, I was just going to suggest that myself.
Now, Nick, I bet that you love to come home when you've been out playing. You say to yourself, "Gee, I'd like to go home now."
Sure, right. And I'm happy here. Boy, if you think I'm happy now, you should see me when I am really happy.
I think he's on to you, honey. You're going to have to be a lot boxier than
And
that.
I'm sure that you and your uncle have loads of fun
Well,
together.
it's not all laugh.
Well, I know there are times when the fun stops and your uncle teaches you things and helps
I can
you.
do a great Peter Lorre imitation. Murray taught me.
Nikki, what Miss Markowitz means is that you and your uncle...
You can't hang me.
No.
I can do it, I tell you. That's not my knife. I'm innocent. It's all a mistake.
Nicholas.
See?
That's not what we meant.
What's the problem? That happens to be a very good imitation.
Well, yes, perhaps, but we're trying
Well,
to...
can you
establish-
imitate Peter Lorre?
I can do a pretty good James Cagney, too. I mean, it's not fantastic. I'm going to be Lorre, but it's pretty good.
Nicholas, now please, try and pay attention. Now, if I may
Albert,
proceed to...
if you just let me handle this area. Now, Nick, let's talk about games, okay?
Okay.
What kind of games do you like the best?
Well, mostly I like educational games and things like that. That Murray gets me to develop my naturally inclined mind.
Well, I wonder now, are there any favorite games or toys you'd like to show me? Or some plaything that is just the most favorite one of all?
Well, I just now threw away my entire collection of National Geographics and other educational type magazines. I have this whole big collection of the new ones. So
Miss Markowitz cares about you and is very interested in you and everything. And I'm sure that if you brought out some of your very favorite playthings, toys for her to see, that she would love them just as much as you do.
well, there's Bubbles.
Nick, I don't think they they'd be interested in seeing Bubbles?
Now, Bubbles is what you might call an electric statue. Has battery time in the back. Then it can go on and off like that.
Nick, is this your favorite toy?
Oh, I don't know. After a while, it gets pretty boring, but it's a small gimmick. There's another one in the store that was even better.
Would anybody like any toast or orange juice or something?
Nick, tell me now, do you like best the fact that the chest of a lady lights up?
We gotta admit, you don't see boobies like that every day. Say, you want to see if when the lights are out when the room is dark?
Is that what you like about it, honey? That you can be alone in the dark with
Well, I don't know, but in the dark, they really knock your eye out, you know?
Perhaps don't you think we ought to turn it off?
Nick, does Bubbles... Well, does she in any way... Well, does her face remind you of... Oh, let me see. Your mother, for example?
Well, no, I mean, it's just a doll. It's not a statue of anybody I know. I got it in the store downtown that one.
But her chest, okay? Is that something...
Well, it's something all right, isn't it? I mean, come on.
But when you think of your mother...
I don't think about her.
But when you do think of her... Now, do you remember her face best? Or her hands?
Well, I remember she has this terrific laugh. It's the kind of laugh when she laughs makes you want to laugh too. But she overdoes that a lot.
But Nick, I mean physically, okay? Now, when you see Bubbles, and Bubbles goes on and off like that...
Sam. His mother's chest did not light up, all right? Let's get that settled right here. Albert, you mark that right down in your file.
Yes. I suppose perhaps, Nikki, could you turn those off? Her off, it off, shut off, unplug
Nicky,
the...
when you bought this doll, will you...
Sam, why did I save you a lot of time? Look, Nick is a fairly bright kid and he realizes that girls are not boys. Other than that, his interest in ladies right now is confined to those that light up or don't light up.
I mostly like to read books that are healthy, constructive, and extremely educational for a person.
Nick, don't push it. Look, Nick has no unusual fixations. You see, he's no more abnormally interested in your bust than Mr. Amundsen is.
Mr. Burns, it is not necessary.
Although I could be wrong about that.
Our interest in that doll.
You really are interested in that doll.
Our interest.
I'll sell it to you for $2. That's 50 cents less than what I paid for it. Here,
Sandra, I fail to see.
It's just that it was funny, Albert.
Suppose I pursue then this part of the
Excuse me, Albert, I really do feel really better.
Albert, the lady was simply laughing because something funny happened. Actually, under the circumstances, it's the best thing to do.
Mr. Burns.
Would anybody like to go to the Statue of Liberty? I have it on great authority from the weather lady that today is a beautiful day.
Is it at all possible, Mr. Burns, for you to stick to the point?
Now, I think you'd make Sandy a lot happier if you took her someplace once in a while. Doesn't have to be the Statue of Liberty. Actually, any national
My
monument.
relationship with Dr. Mark.
Well, there's obviously some relationship, Albert. When Nick asked if you'd take sugar in your coffee, Albert, you answered for Sandy.
This entire interview, Mr. Burns, has reached a
I'm
point.
going to get my educational books. That's going on the street.
This entire interview, Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns,
Damn it, Sandra! Don't interrupt
For
me.
goodness sakes, Albert, I was just trying to
Perhaps
explain.
we, Mr. Burns, would you excuse us for a moment? I'd like to have a short conference with Sandra, Dr. Markowitz, for a moment. Please, do. What is happening today? Have you lost all control?
You seriously talking to me about control?
I told you, and I told Dr. Malkowitz, it's much too soon for you to be going out on cases. You need another year in the office, behind the lines. I told both of you, you're simply
You
not
wanted
ready.
to get started. I was attempting to deal with the whole child. You just barged
3
right
months
in.
out of graduate school and you want to go right into the front lines, not advising.
Don't you think this is rather stupid and unprofessional? I'm here in front of him. You decide to have a conference.
A necessity. I am supposedly the leader of this examining team.
Oh, really?
So for each case you get too involved, much too emotionally involved. This is an exploratory visit, dear. We are scientists.
Albert, you made me sick today. This is no way to approach this matter.
Fine.
Oh, look, we have fun.
How are we doing? No, I really don't think you two are going to work through your problems together, but I'm glad you came to me because I think I can help. Al, Sandy is not going to respect you much because you threaten her. You see, respect will only come naturally, gradually, a maturing process.
Mr. Burns.
Sandy, I bet he's got a file on you.
Mr. Burns, according to the BCW, the child's continuance in your home is in serious and immediate doubt. Well, now, I'm trying to encourage your cooperation. Aren't you at all willing to answer some questions in your favor for our report? To show your competency as guardian. The board is thoroughly aware that Nicholas is not legally adopted.
He's my nephew. He's visiting. He's staying with me for a while.
Very good. How long has he been here?
7 years.
7 years. So you see, Mr. Burns, the Child Welfare Board has, I assure you...
You don't assure me of anything, Bud. You know, you make me goddamn nervous. You mean to tell me 4 years at NYU has made you my judge? Look, I'm sorry. Please, let's get back to the questions. What do you want to know? I'll cooperate.
Nicholas's father, where is he?
That is not a where question. That is a who question.
I don't quite...
Well, Nicholas's mother, she didn't quite either.
She is still living.
My sister is unquestionably alive.
A responsibility to the child.
For 5 years, she did everything she could for Nick but get married. Now, that's not easy to understand because she used to get married to everybody. But somehow having Nick matured her, and she felt the responsibility not to get married to just anybody anymore, so she didn't marry Nick's father. Nor was she married at the time he was born. You might call Nick a bastard, or a little bastard, depending on how whimsical you feel at the time. This is the sort of information you wanted? This is a social worker's paradise, isn't it? What a case history, huh? My sister Elaine showed up here one day with 2 suitcases, a hat box, a blue parakeet, a dead goldfish, and a 5-year-old child. 3 days later, she went downstairs to buy herself a pack of filter-tip cigarettes. 6 years later, she returned for the cigarettes and the hat box, the parakeet I had given away, the goldfish I had long since flushed down the toilet, and the 5-year-old child had, with very little effort, become 6 years old. When Elaine returned for her luggage, I reminded her of the cigarettes and the child, and suggested to her that this just might be the longest-running practical joke in recent history. She was accompanied by a tall chap with sunglasses, who was born to be her 5th divorce, and who tried to start a small conversation with me. At which point I remember I slapped my sister, 5th divorce slugged me. Sister cried and then stopped quite suddenly, and proceeded to explain to me her well-practiced theory on the meaning of life, a philosophy falling somewhere to the left of whoopee. At this point, I remember, I laughed, and then we all laughed and said goodbye like people at the end of a long party. That was almost a year ago, and I've still got Nick.
She must have had some concern about Nicholas, about the child.
His name is not Nicholas. Although I will admit, he has stayed with that name much longer than the others. No, wait. It was Bill for almost 8 months.
I'm sure on his birth certificate you
Certainly an elusive document. You see, not having given Nick a last name, Elaine felt reticent about giving him a first one. Now, this presented a real problem when he first got here because he responded to nothing whatsoever. Even the parakeet recognized its own name. Nick was only sure I was calling him when he was positive there was no one else in the room.
How did you communicate with him?
I made a deal with him when he was 6 years old, up to which time he was rather casually known as Chubby, that he could try out any name he wished for however long he wished, until his 13th birthday, at which point he'd have to pick a name that he liked permanently. Now, I went through a long period of dogs' names when he was still little, Rover and King having a real vogue there for a while. For 3 months, he referred to himself as Big Sam, and then there was Little Max, Snoopy, Chip, Rock, Rex, Mike, Marty, Lamont. My favorite Chevrolet, Wyatt, Yancey, Phil, Woodrow Wilson, Lefty, and the Phantom. The Phantom. He received his library card last year in the name of Raphael Sabatini. His Cub Scout membership lists him as Barry Fitzgerald. And only last week I got a telephone call from one of his little friends asking if Toulouse could come over to his house for dinner. Nick seems to be the name that'll stick, though.
And his mother?
His mother. Well, his mother, when last heard, was studying mine in Paris, having been given a sort of scholarship from a 22-year-old handbag heir named Myron, who seems to believe strongly in the development of student exchange and talent. Well, I don't think I've left anything out.
I was not aware that Nicholas was an OW child.
O.W.?
Out of wedlock.
Oh, well, for a moment there, I thought you meant prisoner of war. You know, it must be that natural warmth of yours. It just leads me to misunderstanding.
Well, yes, but as concerns the child, where is the child?
You preferred not having him here anyway, Albert.
I'm perfectly aware, Sandra, of what I prefer and what I do not prefer.
I do not care for that tone of voice at all, Albert.
I understand perfectly what has happened here today, Sandra. We have allowed this man to disturb us, and we have both gotten a bit upset. Well, now, I really do feel that it's time we've gotten over to that family problem in Queens. You know the one, the Ledbetters. It's there in your file. We've really spent an exorbitant amount of time on this case. This interview, Mr. Burns, I'm afraid, has reached a
Albert,
point...
I personally feel it would not be advisable to leave this particular case at this point.
Sandra, we've
Now,
done
I
here
do
this
not
morning
feel
all
we have given Mr. Burns an adequate chance to...
Sandra, it is time we left for Queens.
Here's the Ledbetter file, Albert. I'm staying here.
Sandra,
I've decided to pursue this case.
have we lost all professional control?
You just go on yourself to the Ledbetters. You go ahead to Queens.
Sandra, may I just speak with you for a moment, please?
Time out for signals again.
Sandra, what is this? What has happened to you today? What are you doing?
Doing what I think is right.
Sandra, I know how you feel, dear, but there's no more we can do here today.
I just don't understand your behavior when you're on a case, Albert. We're supposed to be of some help. We're supposed to be...
Of course, I want to help too, but don't forget, it is the child
You
who
mean you're
needs our
just going to leave
protection.
that man here like that? I mean, you're not even going to try to help him or tell him what to do about the board separating him from his child? I mean, just so cold?
You spent too much time at that graduate school and not enough time in the field. That's your whole trouble, Sandra. You have got to learn your job.
Albert, listen, don't you give me any of that nonsense.
Sandra, this is not the time or the place.
You know, graduate school wouldn't have done you any harm, Albert, believe me. You know, this is just the most awful thing. You're just going to leave? Albert, you know what you are. You're a... Well, I don't know, but I'll think of something.
Mr. Burns, you may assume at this point that Sandra is no longer involved in your case. The board will be informed that Ms. Markowitz is no longer involved in this particular case. You may dismiss any conference that may resume as, after I leave here, as unofficial. And any talk that may take place here after I leave, when I leave here, from your mind, is entirely unofficial. And regardless of what you think of me...
Well, I think you're a dirty O.W.
And you know what you are. Maladjusted. Good day, Mr. Burns. Good day, Sandra.
Good afternoon, Mr. Robinson. Watch out crossing the street.
Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns, I really must apologize to you. We have put you at a disadvantage this morning. You have been involved in a personal problem that has nothing to do whatsoever with your particular situation, and it was entirely wrong of me to give you this impression of our profession. Do you know what? I just lost my job! Oh, this is awful. He's right, you know, I'm not suited to my work. That's what he said, and he's right. Oh, Mr. Burns, please don't look at me. Would you please go away? Still, he didn't have to talk to me that way. This is the first week we've ever gone out on cases together, and I didn't think he behaved that way. That was no way. Why did I ever find a Kleenex? Thank you. Oh, dear. know that even with 2 fellowships, it still costs me, I mean my parents mostly, it cost them over $7,245 for me to go through school. I was the 8th youngest person to graduate in New York State last year, and I can't stop crying. Maybe if I hurry, if I took a cab, I could still meet him in Queens.
You can't. Queens is closed. It's closed for the season.
You know what?
What?
I hate letters.
Well, then I'm sure once I got to know them, I'd hate them too.
Oh, but Mr. Burns, you don't understand. You see, some of the cases I love, and some of them I hate, and that's all wrong for my work, but I can't help it. I hate Raymond Ledbetter, and he's only 9 years old, but it makes me sick, and I don't give a damn about him.
Well, you can't like everybody in your portfolio.
But some of them I like too much, and I worry about them all day. It's an obvious conflict against all professional standards. You see, I didn't like Raymond Ledbetter, so I tried to understand him, and now that I understand him, I hate him.
Well, look, I think that's wonderful. Can I get you a cup of coffee or something?
Oh, God, he's gone to Queens, and I'll never hear from him again. You know, last night after dinner, I wrote out what my married name would be on a paper napkin, just to see what it would look like. Mrs. Albert Amundsen. Well, you have to understand, Albert. You know what I think I am? I think I'm crazy.
See, then I can talk to you.
But it was all planned. We were going to get married. And Mrs. Albert Amundsen on a napkin. Well, Albert is really a very nice person when he's not on cases. And he's a very intelligent man, too. But last month, I fell asleep twice while he was talking. I guess I've just known him for so long. Oh, Mr. Burns, don't look at me. Would you please go away?
But I live here.
But I would like everybody to go away.
Look, can I get you a pastrami sandwich
I don't
or
know.
something?
You're crying right in front of me. Would you please go away?
Well, why don't you just think of this as show and tell
The
time?
minute I got out of school, I wanted to go right back inside. Oh, Albert is gone, and I just lost my job.
Look, you're really going to have to stop crying because I'm going out of my mind.
No, I cry all the time, and I laugh at all the wrong places in the movies. I'm unsuited to my work, and I can't do anything right. And, last night I heard an entire chicken, and after 7 years of school, I can't work, and I've got no place to go. An entire chicken.
Well, look, if I do my Peter Lorre imitation, will you stop crying?
Oh, what could I have done? I could have cried on one of my files. The ink is running all over the Grumbacher twins.
I didn't do it. It was all a mistake, I tell you. I didn't kill Mrs. Marmalade. It was my knife, but someone else did it, I tell you.
That's an awful imitation, Mr. Burns.
There, that's progress. Can I get you a cup of coffee or a pastrami sandwich or something?
No, thank you. Oh, God, this is absolutely the most unprofessional experience I've ever had.
People fall into 2 distinct categories, Miss Markowitz. People who like delicatessen and people who don't like delicatessen. A man who is not touched by the earthy lyricism of hot pastrami, by the pungent fantasy of corned beef, pickles, frankfurters, by the great lusty impertinence of good mustard, is a man of stone and without heart. Now, Albert is obviously not a lover of delicatessen, and you are well rid of him.
This is an awful day. What am I going to do?
It's a beautiful day, Miss Markowitz, and I'll tell you why. You really are a jolly old girl, and you have been given the rare opportunity to return the unused portion and have your money refunded.
But my work, what would I do with myself?
You're a lover, Dr. Markowitz, a lover of people and of things, and so you took up work where you could get at as many of them as possible, and it just so happened that there are too many of them and too much that moves you. Damn it, will you be glad that you're not reasonable and sensible? And have all the gratitude you can that you are capable of embarrassment and joy and are a marathon crier.
There is a kind of relief that it's gone. The job, even Albert. But I know what it is. It's just irresponsible. I haven't the vaguest idea who I am.
No. It's just that there's so many Sanders running around that you haven't met before. Now, it's a little confusing at first. Fantastic, like a Chinese fire drill. But damn it, isn't it great to know how many Sanders there really are? It's like those cars in the circus. A little red car comes out and putters around a little while, and its doors open, and out come 1,000 clowns hooping and hollering and raising hell.
What's this?
It's my undershirt. Would you like to go to the Empire State Building with me?
I'll have that coffee now.
You didn't answer my question. Would you like to go to the Empire State Building with me?
Well, no, not really.
Well, then how about the zoo?
Not just now.
Well, then, will you marry me?
What?
But just a little shock treatment there. I have found, through long experience, that it is the best way to get a woman's attention when her mind wanders. It always works.
Well, Mr. Burns.
Now that you've cried, you can't call me Mr. Burns. Same rule applies to laughing. My name is Murray.
Well, Murray, sort of return to reality for a minute.
Oh, I will go only as a tourist.
Murray, you really are in trouble with the Child Welfare Board. Now, they can take Nick away. There's things you can do to try to help, to make your case stronger.
Sandra, do you realize you're not wearing your shoes?
Oh.
Well, here I am with all my favorite books. Fun in the Rain. The Young Railroader. Great Philosophers. Science for Youth and a Spanish Dictionary. What I did was I left them all on the street.
Nick, you just killed a month's allowance. Miss Markowitz is no longer on our case.
I shouldn't have left. You got angry and insulted everybody.
Nick, don't worry about it. We'll work it out.
$4 right out the window. You know, I really do read educational books, and I'm encouraging my home to think.
I'm sure that's true, Nicholas, but I'm afraid I'm not in a position to do you much official good anymore.
We're in real trouble now, right?
Nick.
I figured it would happen. You got angry and hollered at everybody.
Nick, we have a guest. A music lover. Here, we have to do our song. I'm sure it's going to be requested.
Murray, this is no time to sing songs.
Come on. Where's your professional attitude? All right?
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir, that's my baby. No, sir, I don't mean maybe. Yes, sir, that's my baby now. Yes, ma'am, we decided. No, ma'am, we won't hide it. Yes, ma'am, you're invited now. By the way, when we reach that preacher will say, yes, sir.
Nice to meet you, Eddie. I'll see you around.
Nick, where you going?
I'm gonna go leave my stuff up at Mrs. Myers. I figure I'll be staying up there tonight.
Yes, sir, that's my baby. No, sir, I don't mean maybe. Somebody with good news or money? No? Goodbye. Maniacs, it's always voices like that you hear at 8 a.m. Crap. Can't see a goddamn thing. Now, what time of day of the season it is? I got a permanent fixture up there. Twilight in February. Well, good morning, weather lady. Well, I'm fine this morning, and how are you? Good, good. What is the weather? No kidding. Well, what does a chance of showers mean? There you go, repeating yourself. I tell you every morning that once is enough. You'll never learn. Chance of showers. United States Weather Bureau forecast for New York City and vicinity. 6 a.m. temperature, 85 degrees. Somewhat cooler in the suburbs. Cloudy later today with a chance of showers. Fool, he hung up. And you know, it's probably the most informative phone call you're going to have all day. Neighbors! Neighbors, this is your neighbor speaking again. Now look it. I want to talk to you about your garbage out here in the alley. Now, it really is a second-rate garbage. Now, by next week, I want to see more empty champagne bottles and caviar cans. So let's get on the ball and snap it up.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm fine this morning. How are you?
I am fine also. Do you have a bathrobe?
Yes, I have a bathrobe.
May I have your bathrobe, please?
I'll give you Nick's. It'll probably fit you better.
That seems like a good idea.
There you go.
Thank you. What time is it?
It's 8:15. There's a chance of showers. Did you sleep well?
Yes. How long have you been up?
A little while.
Why didn't you wake me?
Because you were smiling. How does the bathrobe fit?
This bathrobe fits fine. Did you happen to see my clothes?
Yes, in the bathroom. Shall I get them?
No, thank you. This isn't the bathroom, this is the kitchen.
Well, if it were the bathroom, it would be a very extreme version of an efficiency apartment. Here are your clothes, also toothpaste and toothbrush.
Thank you.
Sandra, is everything all right?
What?
I said, is everything all right?
Yes. I'm using the last of your toothpaste.
That's all right. There's soap right there by the sink.
I know, I found it.
That's good.
It was right by the sink.
Do you suppose we could broaden this discussion to other matters?
I saw the stuff when I came in.
Morning, Murray.
Morning, Arnold.
Murray, Chuckles called again yesterday. I told him I'd talk to you. And Jimmy Sloan's in from the coast. He's putting a new panel show package together.
Arnold, you have many successful clients.
Murray.
With all your successful people running around, where are all your new young failures going to come from?
Murray. Those people I saw here yesterday, they were from the welfare board, right? I tried to warn you.
Nothing to worry about.
These welfare people don't kid around.
Look, Arnold, I don't mind you coming in here with fruit every morning if you keep quiet. But you bring a word with every apple. Everything's fine. You're going to be late for the office.
Is Nick all right?
Fine.
Okay. Goodbye, Murray.
Goodbye, Arnold. There's still coffee in the pot from last night if you'd like to heat it up.
Oh, I just lit the flame.
Cups are right over the sink.
I found the cups.
Will you be coming out soon?
They're right by the sink.
I said, will you be coming out soon?
I think so. Cream and sugar in your coffee?
Yes, thank you.
Murray,
Yes,
I'm coming out now.
that's good.
I'm all through in here, so I'm coming out now.
That's very good.
Well, here I am.
Yeah, here you are.
Well, you know, yesterday was the first but I've never been to the Statue of Liberty. It's amazing how you can live in a city for so long and never see one of its most fascinating sights.
Yes, that's certainly amazing. This isn't bad coffee for yesterday's coffee, huh?
Yes, I think it's very good coffee. Yesterday's coffee? What kind of coffee is it?
Well, I believe it's Chase and Sanborn coffee.
Oh, yes. Good to the last drop. Isn't that what they say?
Well, I think that's Maxwell House coffee.
Oh, yes, Maxwell House coffee. Good to the last drop. Well.
Chase and Sanborn had the ingredients, ads about the ingredients.
Oh, yes.
Montezeus from Elenis, I think
Didn't they used to sponsor Edgar Bergen and Tony McCarthy on the radio?
Yeah.
Yes, Montezeus from Elenis. I remember.
Yeah, Montezeus from Elenis.
Well, I'll be leaving now.
Oh?
Yes, I'll be going.
Well, here, let me get you your coat. Oh, there's your coat. There you go, huh? Oh, hey, now certainly don't want you to forget your files.
Oh, no. Silly, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Murray?
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye, Sandra.
Goodbye.
Bye. I was ready to kill you.
Why didn't you say something? I was waiting for you to say something.
I was waiting for you, for God's
I
sake.
didn't know what was going on. Don't let me go.
Oh, I'm just putting my coffee cup
Don't
down.
let me go.
Okay.
Oh, Murray, I thought about it.
Yeah.
And I probably love you.
Well, that's very romantic. I probably love you too.
Oh.
Here, let me get your stuff. Okay. Here. Come here. Sit. You have very small feet. Yeah, well, for a minute yesterday, it looked like you only had 4 toes. I thought you were a freak. I woke up in the middle of the night and I counted them. You got 5.
I could have told you that.
You knocked down maybe 7 boxes of Cracker Jacks yesterday. You know, you're like a 12-year-old kid. You sleep with a blanket under your chin like a net. When you were talking about the coffee there a minute ago, I was going to throw you out the window, except there's no place for you to land except the trash cans from the Chinese restaurant downstairs.
You mean you live above a Chinese restaurant?
Yeah, well, no, it's been closed for months.
Oh, you mean you live above an abandoned Chinese restaurant?
Yes, I do.
That's wonderful. You know, Murray, I didn't go to work this morning, and I can't tell you how fantastic that makes me feel. I'm not going to do a lot of things anymore. This blouse, for instance. My mother picked it out for me. Everybody picks things out for me, and she gets all her clothes directly from Louisa May Alcott. Do you know that I feel more at home here after 24 hours than I do in my parents' home after 25 years? Of course, we'll have to do a few things. I'm going to need some curtains, and I hope you don't mind about the screen around the bed. I just think it gives such a nice bedroomy effect to that part of the room, don't you? Marie, there are so many wonderful tricks you can do with a one-room apartment if you're willing to use your imagination. No, Murray, I don't care if it sounds silly, but I was projecting a personality identification with the Statue of Liberty yesterday. Brave and free and solid metal. And I was here with you last night. And no, I don't care or give a damn who knows it or what they think about it. And that goes for Albert and Dr. Malco and my mother and Aunt Blanche. And I'm going to do so many things I've always wanted to do.
For example?
Well, I don't know. And you know, that's wonderful too, because I'm thoroughly enjoying the idea that I don't know what I'm going to do next. Murray, do you have an extra key?
What?
An extra key. See, I thought I'd go down to Altman's. They have this great sale going on, and then I'd get some curtains.
Well, I better give you some money then, huh?
Oh, no money, just the key.
Oh.
Murray?
What?
Do we have any Cracker Jacks?
No. See, the only stuff we brought back was all that cleaning equipment. You know, I'll admit this place is a little dirty, but all that
You better answer, Murray.
stuff. Senator, would you prefer to...
Look, I've got no reason to hide from anybody.
Good morning, Mr. Burns.
Albert! Well, Albert, how are you, Albert?
May I come in?
Yeah, sure.
I called you twice this morning, Mr. Burns.
Oh, Albert, was that you?
That was me.
Ah.
Miss Markowitz did not show up in Queens yesterday.
So?
Well, her parents are quite upset. I am quite upset. Where is she?
She's hiding in the closet.
Mr. Burns, we're all quite anxious to know where she is.
I'm not kidding. She's in the closet.
She is in the closet.
I wouldn't lie to you, Albert.
Why is she in the closet?
I don't know. Maybe she's got this thing for closets.
That's a very silly thing for her to be in that closet.
Well, don't knock it until you've tried it, Albert. Now, look, what is it I can do for you?
It's difficult for me to believe, that she's right there in that closet. You are not a person, Mr. Burns. You are an experience.
Well, that's very nice, Albert. I'll have to try and remember that.
Actually, Dr. Markowitz is not the reason for my visit here today. I came in an official capacity.
Well, you don't wear an official capacity well, Albert. Coffee?
No, thank you.
So, Albert, what is it you've got on your mind?
Burns, late yesterday... late yesterday afternoon, the Child Welfare Board made a decision on your case. Now, the decision is based on 3 months of a very thorough study. Our interview yesterday afternoon was only a small part of that very thorough. Burns, I want you to understand that I am in no way responsible personally for the decision that the board...
Albert, relax. I won't even hold you responsible for the shadow you're throwing on my rug.
For 11 months, you've disregarded all communications with the board. You've made a farce of their inquiries. We're not employed. You show no inclination to gain employment. You have no financial stability.
Look, Albert, I just want you to get...
Months of research by the board and investigations by Revere School show a severe domestic instability, libertine self-indulgence, a whole range of circumstances severely detrimental to the child's welfare.
Look, Albert, will you stop tap dancing for a second and get to the point?
It is the decision of the board that you are unfit to be the guardian of your nephew, and that action be taken this Friday to remove him from this home and the deprivation you cause him.
You mean they can really... Where the hell did they get this routine from? Charles Dickens?
The board is prepared to find a more suitable, stable family for your nephew. A family with whom he'll live a more wholesome, normal life.
Look, Albert, there must be some hearing, someplace I can go, somebody I can talk to about
You
this.
will have an opportunity Thursday to state your case to the board. Now, if there's any substantial change in your circumstance, any evidence that the board is not aware of, if you can demonstrate that you are a responsible member of this society...
This is Tuesday! What the hell am I supposed to do in 2 days? Win the goddamn Nobel Peace Prize? They sent you here to tell me this?
No, you were to be informed in court, but... Well, in view of the circumstances that took place here yesterday afternoon, for which I consider myself responsible, I felt it my duty to come and explain...
Why do you sound like you write everything down before you say it?
Well, yes, Mr. Burns, I do speak that way. I wish I spoke more spontaneously. I realize that I lack warmth. I shall always appear foolish in a conversation with a man of your imagination. But please understand this. Don't vengeance in my activities here today. I love my work, Mr. Burns, but I feel that you are a danger to this child. Now, I wish this were not so, because it is obvious you hold a considerable affection for your nephew. It is in your face, this feeling. I admire you for your warmth, Mr. Burns, and for the affection that the child feels for you. I admire this because I am one for whom children do not easily feel affection. I am not one of the warm people. But your feeling for the child does not mollify the genuinely dangerous emotional climate you have made for him. I wish you could understand this. So much rather you understood, could really hear what I have to say. For yours is, I believe, a distorted picture of this world.
Then why don't you send me to a foster home?
I was right. You can't listen to me. You are so sure of your sight. All your villains and heroes are so terribly clear to you. And I am obviously one of your villains. God save you from your vision, Mr. Burns. Goodbye.
And courageous free one, you can come out now.
I'm sorry, Murray. I don't know what happened. I just ran into the closet, and once I was in there, I didn't want to come out. I'm sorry, Murray.
Don't be nervous, lady. You're going through an awkward stage. You're between closets. Well, if Nick has to go, if he leaves, he leaves. My life stays about the same. It's no good for him, see? Not for a couple of years anyway. He can easily turn into another peeled and boiled potato. Are you listening to me?
Of course, Murray.
Well, then make some kind of listening noise, will you? Nod your head or wink or something. As a matter of fact, it might not be too bad for me if he doesn't. I mean, he's a middle-aged kid. When I signed on to the networks, he stayed up all night figuring out the fringe benefits in the pension plan. And he started to make lists this year, lists of everything. Subway stops, underwear, what he's going to do next week. Somebody doesn't watch out, he's going to make a list of what he's going to do next year and the next 10 years. Hey, wait a minute. Suppose they put him with a whole family of list makers. I did not spend 6 years with that kid, so he should turn into a list maker. He'll learn to know everything before it happens. He'll learn to plan. He'll learn to be one of those nice dead people. Are you listening to me?
Of course, Murray, I told you
Well, stamp your feet or mutter so I know you're there, will you? I just want him to stay with me till I know he won't turn into Norman nothing. I want him to know when he's chickening out on himself. I want him to know that special thing he is, or he won't notice when he starts to go. I want him to stay awake and know who the phonies are. I want him to learn how to holler and put up an argument. I want a little bit of guts to show before I can let him go. I want him to know all the wild possibilities. I want him to know that it's worth the trouble to give the world a little goosing when you get the chance. And I want him to know that very special reason why he was born a human being and not a chair. I would be very sorry to see that kid go. He was the best straight man I ever had. I mean, you tell that kid something funny. Not just any piece of corn, but something funny, and he'll give you your money's worth. And it's not just jokes he reads or I tell him that he laughs at. Not just the set-up funny stuff. Not that kid. That kid sees street jokes. He has the good eye. He sees subway farce and cross-town bus humor, and all the cartoons that people make just by being alive. See, he has the good eye. And I don't want him to go until I'm sure he'll never be ashamed. And in addition to that, Sandy, you see, besides that, I don't want him to go. I like having him here. Oh, Sandy, there's got to be something we can do, somebody we can talk to. You see, I like when he reads me from the want ads.
We'll do something. I know the board, I know the procedures. There's things you can do.
Yeah, right. Well, the first thing I got to do is I got to get a suit. A dignified suit.
But if you could get some kind of a job, or get your brother to help you.
Yeah, right.
Is there something you can get in a hurry?
Well, yeah. One of those summer suits with the ready-made cuffs.
Hurry, I mean a job, okay? We got to bring proof of employment to the hearing. We got to show them how anxious you are to change. Murray, we have to show them you want to be reliable.
Reliable? Yeah, reliable. Goddamn reliability, yeah. Spectacular reliability. We'll put on a goddamn reliability parade for him. Bands, floats, everything. Sandy, go to the closet and pick me out a tie. One quiet tie with a mood of inner strength.
I'm coming right up.
Arnold Bird's office, please. Hello, Margot. Look, is he in? No, all right, well, look. When he gets in, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to tell him to sit down. Then I want you to tell him I want to get a job. And when he, that's it. One quiet tie with a mood of inner strength.
Okay.
Keep that laugh, sweetheart. I'm going to need it later. All right, look. Yeah, okay, well, tell him I want to get a job. All right? And tell him I'm going downtown to buy myself a suit, and I'm going to bring him the most beautiful pineapple he's ever seen. All right, Mark. Yeah, I'll call. Yeah, okay. I'll call back in about an hour. All right, bye-bye.
Can I go with you? I'd love to buy a suit with you.
I wish you could, sweetheart, but I gotta move fast, and I really don't have time right now. But what you can do is you can tell me whether these shoes look okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now you stay here, all right? Don't go anywhere.
I won't.
Now, say good luck.
Good luck.
Now say, you're a spectacular human being.
You are a spectacular human being.
I thought you'd notice.
Yes, sir, that's my baby. No, sir, don't be baby. Yes, sir, that's my baby now. Yes, ma'am, we ain't going
By the way, when we see the preacher out there, I'm gonna say yes, sir, that's my baby. No, sir, don't be maybe.
me and my gal. That play that's going on is me and my gal.
Oh, thanks.
It's really good. We get to see that later.
Are you selling?
The lady that's what.
Can you eat a whole one of these?
Well, I'd rather get popcorn or ice cream, but I'm not going to get it, so I. What? Can you eat a whole one of these?
Oh, yeah, I can eat a whole one, no problem. I'll just ask you.
Let's get another one.
Do you want ice cream too?
Can I have ice cream?
If you want ice cream. It's your stuff, not mine.
As much as you can in 3 gray boxes.
Why didn't you get 2 the first time?
I don't know what I was thinking.
He's going to come back from wherever he went to get the job, his brother's place. He's going to find his place all fixed up. After the bed's coming down the bed. And you cover them in pillows. No tablecloth on the table. And all the junk picked up. Thought we even did a crucifix on the wall.
How much is left on? Stuff that we can come in. Or something we can leave on. A pile of
talking about McDonald's office and then got hurried. Yes, but they're this year's program. He's really good. Because the guy that came from Ireland with the accent, he and like see that next month. It starts to